Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Let's go to Bloomberg. They're saying Apple and Google CEOs, they brought star power to China. And guess what? They were at an event that promoted censorship of the internet. And they were like, woohoo, woo, yeah, go censorship, yay. I suppose they thought they could speak openly, and probably they don't really give a crap what we think. But they did speak openly about how they feel about censorship over in China. Apple Inc.'s Tim Cook and Google's Sundar Pichai made their first appearances at China's World Internet Conference, bringing star power to a gathering the Chinese government uses to promote its strategy of tight controls online, a la censorship. Apple's chief executive officer gave a surprise keynote at the opening ceremony on Sunday, calling for future internet and AI technology to be infused with privacy, security, and humanity. The same day, one of China's most senior officials called for more aggressive government involvement online to combat terrorism and criminals. Wang Huning, one of 7 men of China's top decision-making body, even called for a global response team to go well beyond its borders. It was Cook's second appearance in China in 2 months following a meeting with President Xi Jinping in October. The iPhone maker has the most to lose when it comes to China because its products are manufactured in the country, and it's trying to regain market share in smartphones against local Chinese competitors, which you have to understand. In China, as long as you pay your tribute to the Don, if you will, because that's really what it is. Let's be honest, folks. The way China's set up is no different than the way the mafia is set up. Okay, you got the Godfather at the top. That's Z. No different than, say, a John Gotti or anything else. And beneath him, he's got his lieutenants and he's got his family, right? That's basically what he's got, his commie family. And then, if you want business in China, you better grease the skids of the Don and pay your tribute to his lieutenants. And if you do that and you're lucky enough to have the Don's protection, why then, no problem, we'll let you manufacture your phones at a discount rate. And that's exactly what's going on here. By the way, you know that in order to keep the crime family, the crime syndicate going, why, you got to keep the peasants repressed. You got to keep them uninformed. The more uninformed they are, the more automaton they are, the more controllable they are. And so that's the whole purpose of this conference, is to talk about ways to tighten control of the internet using government means. And of course, you know, the government only has one tool in its toolbox. Any government throughout the entire world, they only have one tool in their toolbox. It's called a hammer. Everything government does, everything, every single action it does by force. Government does nothing give you a choice voluntarily. Everything government does is done by force. Censorship, force. Now, here in the United States, it's soft force because, you know, our non-representing representatives have their underlings at Apple, have their underlings at Facebook and Twitter. And believe me, I'm sure they've got the CIA with enough blackmail material on every one of those CEOs and their underlings at Facebook, at Twitter, at all these social media platforms to have their bases covered. They don't have to pay millions of dollars. These people shoot themselves in the foot every day. Look at all the sexual harassment crap coming out. You know, most non-representing representatives, most human beings these days don't have enough self-control, don't have enough decency, oftentimes, to treat women with respect or others. Let's not even just say women, just others in general. You know, it used to be when you moved into the neighborhood, there was a welcoming committee that showed up. It was a neighborly thing to do, right? Now people peer through the blinds. Who just moved in next door? Nobody wants to talk to anybody else. Oh, we'll do it on the internet. We won't do it face to face. You know? This is pivotal because they see the power of networking and what it's done to the spread of information. It's not even about news. It's just about communication. That's really what it all boils down to. And the problem is they can't, as much as they try to frame it, they can only call it fake news but so much, because then they fall into their own trap. If they try and define fake news or what it is, they fall into their own trap. Now their own government mouthpieces, your ABCs, your NBCs, your CBS, your CNNs, all of them end up falling into that fake news definition, because by definition, they too are fake news. Well, we can't use that. All we could do is use that as a propaganda ploy. We can't actually use that term or define it in any sort of legislation or any sort of, say, corporate policy, because to do that, then we would have to treat everybody else equally. Well, we can't do that. So what options do we have left? Oh, well, why don't we just censor the whole damn thing? Oh, well, that's why they're all at this conference in China. Well, let's see what the censorship gurus are doing over in China so that we can then go and formulate ways to implement these processes and procedures here in America and other countries to really ratchet that control back and get it away from the people. Because it's killing their ability to move forward. Now, don't get me wrong, the plan's still moving forward. You could see that plummeting birth rates, economy's no good, right? They say, growth's at 3.3%. Yeah, Wall Street, it's all fiat growth. It's all fake. I saw a headline today about, well, the reason why we haven't seen a crash or we haven't seen a recession is because people are buying in because they don't want to miss out. If you go and watch the documentary, it's a PBS documentary. It was done years ago on the Great Depression. That's exactly why the market got so inflated in the 20s. People didn't want to miss out. They went and took out loans to buy stock, thinking that it was never going to crash. It was never going to burn. They put too much trust and faith in the bankers and the ones that dealt with the credit. And when the credit dried up and when the margin calls came, everybody lost their shirts. The people on Main Street, the little guy. But the bankers, the movers and the shakers, why, they made a killing during the Great Depression. Just remember, during these downturns, it's the rich that get richer. It's the poor that get poorer. And as the poor get poorer, they get pissed. And the peasants with the pitchforks and the torches, according to them, need to be reined in and controlled. And that's exactly what this is. So anytime you see an American CEO going over to a censorship conference, and that's exactly what this was, then it has to make your ears perk up. Because why on earth would they go over and tout a free internet at China's premier censorship conference? They're not being heroes, folks. They may talk the talk, but behind the scenes, they ain't walking the walk. And what they're doing is they're looking at some of the latest and greatest AI implementation for censorship being played out in China as a proving ground for future use here in the United States. It's really that simple. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. # Wake the Flock Up. Have a great day, everybody.